this is part 3 of the Unit 5 mid-formative assessment. Let's go to the last few questions here. So we're dealing with this question over here where we have point A over here, and we want to determine which of the following apply for point A. So is it in quadrant 2? No. This is quadrant 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So it's not in quadrant 2, it's actually in quadrant 4. So this is correct in quadrant 4. What are the coordinates? Well, let's find our x value first. So our x value, if we look, is 4 to the right. So we have for sure 4. And then if we go for our y value, it's down 2 units, so 4, negative 2. So it's not negative 2, 4, but instead 4, negative 2. So those two there are correct. Point A is a linear relation. Well, one point cannot be a linear relation. You need at least 2 points to make a line. So there's nothing to connect to it. So that would not be correct either. So point A is in quadrant 4, and then 4, negative 2. Let's see if we're right with that. So we have 4 and then 4, negative 2. Perfect. So that makes sense. Let's erase this and go on to our next question. So the vertical axis is the x-axis. So remember that vertical means up, down, horizontal, left, right. So if we were to draw a grid in, this would be the y, this would be the x. The vertical is the y, not the x. So this is false. The horizontal axis is the x-axis. Let's see if we're right with that. False. Good. What are the coordinates of the origin? So if you stop reading the question there, which many students do, they just stop reading the question halfway through. Don't do that. Read the entire thing as an ordered pair. If you stopped here, you would have chosen maybe the first one. X is 0 and y is 0. That's true. It is the origin. But here we asked you to write the origin as an ordered pair, meaning in brackets 0, 0, close the brackets, open, close, 0, 0, with a comma in between there. That's how you write an ordered pair. So if you selected this, it is the origin, but it's not as an ordered pair. Origin is always where the x-axis meets the y, where the y-axis meets the x-axis. So right there in that middle there, and it would be 0.00. If you chose this, it's wrong because it's not written as an ordered pair in the proper format. And this would be the most correct answer. This is just xy. That's not the origin. Xy can be replaced by any number. So 0, 0 is the best answer in this scenario here. Let's see if we're right with that, with the brackets. That makes sense. Perfect. So let's go on to take a look at our next question. All linear relations form a straight line when graphed. That one's true. That's the definition of a linear relation, visually speaking. So yes, it should be true. Are we right with that? Good. Next question. The equation of a linear relation must meet all the following criteria, except. So which of the following is not one of the regulations or rules for something to be a linear relation? Well, let's take a look. So no variables in the denominator. Well, that's true. We don't want to have something like 2 over x. If you have that, then you don't have a linear relation. So that one's actually true. So we're not going to choose this. We're choosing which one is not true, which one is not one of the rules. Okay. So it's kind of like saying, which of the following is not a vegetable? Or all of the following are vegetables except apple, carrot, lettuce, so on and so forth. You're choosing the one that's not the vegetable. Here we're choosing the one that's not part of the rules. No variables being rooted. That's true. We don't want to have, for example, square root of x. So that's one of the rules. We're crossing that out. We're choosing the one that's not a rule. No variables being multiplied. That's also the case. You don't want to have something like x multiplied by y or x multiplied by z as a variable, so to speak. So that's also one of the rules. Can't have that. No variable has an exponent other than 1. That's also true. If you have y is equal to x squared, that's no longer linear because you have something that's more than 1 here. So this would be a parabola, which you'll learn about in grade 10, instead of a line. So you need to have highest degree 1 for a variable. So that is one of the rules. That leaves us with there are at least 2 variables. So yeah, for the most part, you can have y is equal to x. There are 2 variables there. But you don't need to have 2 variables necessarily. You could have something like y is equal to 2. You could have something So if you have y is equal to 2, for example, we'll learn that later on. If y is equal to 2, you have a line that's horizontal, like this. So this is not one of the rules that you would have learned in your notes, but all the other ones are. So that one would be the one that is the exception, the except, the not part of the rules. And let's see, that is the case. Good. Now we go on to our last question here. Which of the following represents a linear relationship? Select all that apply. So it's kind of related to the previous question. You have to follow your rules here. If you look here, the variables have degrees higher than 1. So this is not a linear relationship. Here, none of the variables have a degree higher than 1, and there's no variable in the denominator either. So it looks like we're good. There's no variables being square rooted, nothing like that. So this one here looks like a linear relation. Same idea here, no degree higher than 1. No variables are multiplied by each other. And no square roots or anything like that for the variable specifically, like the x, for example, or the y. So this would be a linear relation as well. Here, we have a square root of a variable. Right away we know that's not going to be a linear relation. So 2 of these answers are correct. Option 2 and option 3. Let's see if we're right. Option 2, option 3. Perfect. And the rest are not linear relations. So that concludes the series of videos for your Unit 5 mid-formative assessment. Please make sure you go over the questions carefully to make sure you understand them. Go over your notes again. Spend more time on the ones that you didn't quite get. Again, I didn't really follow form too much in this video. I cared more about the concept and the strategy, but you're responsible for form in any assessment that you do, and you want to make it a habit. You don't want to just say, oh, I'll do form properly in a test or a quiz when I need to. No, you need to do it in your homework as well, because it's really hard to break a bad habit, so start it now.